You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice. It is Friday, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I'm your host, Connor Cupin, and it's WMSC Anniversary Week, 168 straight hours of live coverage, and that's where we're at. Montclair State giving us this great opportunity. And look, Breaking the Ice, we get a little Friday slot today. Mike 1, got Devils Report in the building. Daniel Lamoya is here. His team's not in the playoffs, and he's one of 4 people in this room that can say that is a true statement.
You know what? Sometimes you gotta go through speed bumps to get where you need to go. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's a fact. It just depends how fast you go through the speed bump, correct, guys?
That's correct.
So now, Mike 2, we have Tanner Price here. Was on the radio from 12 to 4 last night. Now he's back.
I was. Now I'm back.
He doesn't leave.
The blue shirts!
And there it is.
It's time to go win a Stanley Cup.
It's time to win a Stanley Cup. Interesting there. And on Mike 3, got another blue shirts fan. It's Alex Daly.
I could not have said it better, Tanner. It is time to win a cup. It is time to take it home.
Listen, we got over... everything's lining up.
It's all lining up.
The OJ curse is over.
Well, all right, guys. Let's get right into this one here. The OJ curse is over. What a way to start it. But first off, shout out WMSC. We had some great fun this week. We've been on air every hour the entire week. Played dodgeball on Tuesday. I have to say, Tanner has some mittens, guys. Let me tell you, this guy can catch anything thrown at him. But we were playing with real dodgeballs as well, which are harder to throw, easier to catch. It's not like how breaking the chase dodgeballs, breaking the court dodgeballs, my mistake. Way different story. You throw those things off speed. These weren't really breaking that well.
Speed.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we were throwing sliders at Pike.
We were absolutely throwing sliders. Nardi had the nastiest
splitter,
fork ball.
12-6 curve.
Something.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. I don't know what that thing was, but it worked. And so, yeah, I had one more dodgeball win. Yesterday, I won MVP of the kickball game we had. I lost my shoe during the game as well, sent flying. But we took the victory in extra innings. I believe the score was 14-11.
That's intense.
Congratulations.
We should clap it up for Connor right now.
Really should.
And that's how it is right now. But we got 2 hours of
How did
straight
it feel
up.
to get robbed? No, you're going to say. How did it feel to play kickball with Nicholas Supa?
Nicholas Supa is the greatest player of all time. He owns Vincent Piccone. Vincent Piccone, if you're listening, Nick Supa owns you. He had 3 straight fly balls caught out, and there's just no one that can handle Nick Supa's gold glove. Not gold glove, gold hand. He got the gold hand in the outfield there.
Imagine they had a glove that was big enough for kickball.
Yeah, it'd have to be... You'd have to have like a trash bag on you or something like that. I don't know how you'd go about that one. You'd have to figure something out.
It's like that guy that had like the big glove at all the baseball games a couple years ago. I forget.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
The big glove. Regardless, it's WMC Anniversary Week. That's behind us now. It's Breaking the Ice time. We're going to get into everything we talking about so much. The playoffs are here, ladies and gentlemen. The regular season ended last night. And you know what that also means? It means Pick'ems is done. It means Pick'ems is done. Such a sad day.
It's just another thing that made me despise AJ even more.
Well, I mean, look. We can look at the standings to finish it off. AJ Chasen wins Pick'ems 7-27. He wasn't in first the whole time, but let me tell you, he just started to get games right, and we just started to get games wrong. I finished second with 7-10, and Daniel, you finished third, 7-08. You know, you look back and you're like, what about one of those days where I just missed my picks?
Yeah, there were 2 or 3 for me.
And that's right there.
Two of them weren't bad. I think I missed 2 days that were like 1 or 2 games, but there was one day where there was like 13, and that completely did me in, and I was kicking myself.
Kicking himself over and over. But look, the 700 Club is prestigious. Us 3 and no one else can enter the 700 Club.
Let's go.
And let's jump into the 670
How's it feel?
Club. We're going to jump into the 670 Club over here. Tanner Price taking fourth with 679. But honestly, let's clap it up for that. Because for those who don't know, this guy was way behind. And I mean, he probably was down by 30 or 20-something at one point. Was able to rally back and surpass the last two. That is an unreal comeback. Didn't win it all, but he certainly does not look like a fool anymore. Resilience. Resilience. If it wasn't for a few Sharks pick'ems less, we might know where he is in the standings overall. And in fifth place, Justin Brady with 673. In last place, Alex Daly with 672.
Dude. That was brutal. I got to see the live tally of the final stats for Pick'ems. And there was a chance that Justin and I could tie for last, but just fell one game short. All those days I missed, all those 11-game Saturdays.
So I just crunched some numbers. To be above 500, you had to have over 656 wins.
So we're all above
So
500.
we all were above 500.
Nice.
get it.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take
Just
it.
barely.
That's impressive stuff, I think, especially since there's a lot of parity in the
And
NHL.
with
Any
all
team
those
could
Sharks
win on any
pick'ems,
night.
he's still
Yeah.
Still over 500.
Still over 500. My so now Pick'em's over. I want everyone to go. What was your guys' lock of the season? What was the team you were what?
I devote all my success, even though I had so little success, to the Blue Shirts, because I
Yeah.
took the Rangers on every single game this season, and it actually benefited me this year.
I think the only... I might have taken the Rangers probably 78 times probably this season. I only remember like 2 or 3 times. And all the games that I took the other team, the Rangers eventually won it, so it worked out for me in the end.
I took Florida all 82. I took Florida all 82, but I think
That too, the Panthers too.
Yeah, Panthers were huge.
Your lock of the season.
So for me, it was just Devils games in general. It started out as sort of a hater bet.
you just picked the opposite.
where it was like, okay, I'll just pick the Devils every game, but then they kept losing and losing. I mean, sorry, not pick the Devils, pick whoever's playing the Devils. And they just kept losing and ended up pretty significantly under 500, so going against them turned into a very reliable strategy.
Very reliable strategy.
And the 2 or 3 games that I did pick them was against teams like Columbus that I thought they would win, and they did win. So I was basically nailing the Devils games.
And which team did you guys fade all year long, every single day?
I mean, the Sharks are an obvious one.
Roll.
It wasn't him. That's all.
I faded the Blues a lot, which kind
Yeah.
of backfired because they got really hot towards the end of the season.
I think I faded the Ducks the most.
The Ducks are another one, definitely.
Ducks.
Or Columbus. Wait, hold on.
No, I always did Chicago. Actually, no.
I picked Chicago
I
a few
did-
times in
I
there.
did pick Chicago a few times, probably Columbus or Anaheim.
Certainly faded the Ducks a solid amount and Columbus. Alex.
I don't know. I feel like I want to say the Coyotes maybe, but I remember taking them.
No,
a
but
good
they were
amount.
hot at one point.
Yeah,
they were
there
good
was
at one
there was
point.
that streak. I remember taking them for a good 4 or 5 games straight. I'd roll with the Yotes, but
And what
probably
was your
the Ducks?
what was
yeah.
your under the radar team that like they weren't a great team this year, but like you'd pick them, they'd get some good upsets. For me, no question, the Ottawa Senators. When I would pick them against, they have Toronto's number. I don't know what it is. They just beat. Not Toronto, Tampa. They have Tampa's number. I don't know what it was. They beat Tampa every game this year, so every time they matched up, I took Ottawa against Boston. For the Florida to win the division, Ottawa had to win. Took Ottawa there. They came through with some sneaky good games. They were definitely my sleeper pick of the season. Take the Senators.
I respect that. I mean, they're not. They have a solid young core. They were definitely able to string some wins together a few times. So
Mine was, I know they're a playoff team, but they barely snuck in. Whenever I took the Islanders, they always won. I don't know why, but I mean, I'll take it. But
So a kind of funny story, baseball related, just popped up on my phone, but I'm gonna turn this into an NHL question.
This is great. This is for now. Let's just give a drum roll for whatever this could be coming our way.
That was a long drum roll.
4 seconds, baby.
The Colorado Rockies are being investigated by the Federal Aviation Administration and United Airlines because one of their coaches entered the cockpit during a flight and was pretending to control the plane while it was in the air. And then the footage got leaked, and
Whistle slide.
the FAA said, "We're deeply disturbed by what we see in that video, which appears to show an unauthorized person in the flight deck at cruise altitude while the autopilot was engaged. As a clear violation of our safety and operational policies, we've reported the incident and have withheld the pilots from service while we conduct an investigation."
That's amazing, dude.
That is just absolutely
The
absurd.
Colorado Rockies.
So,
With Colorado, are you taking this Colorado route, or are you taking this the plane route with the Jets? Let's see.
Wow.
neither, actually.
Oh.
I'm going to say if there was any coach to do something like that in the
I see.
entire NHL,
I see
Who
where
would
he's
it be?
going with this.
Wait, so what did he actually do in the cockpit? Was he like trying to like grab controls and stuff, or was
yeah,
he just,
like pretending, but like if he pushes like
Whoa.
one lever wrong or something, the plane just goes down. That's kind of a major problem. Like he wasn't supposed
Wow.
to be in the cockpit while the plane was in the air. So,
And if there was one NHL coach to do this,
and also assume that coach would have accidentally like pressed a button and crashed the plane as well. We could assume that. Which coach would that be?
torts?
That's a good one.
Mike Babcock.
I was gonna say him, but
But he doesn't have a job right now.
I'm getting strong. I feel like Travis Green would do such a thing like that. Actually, wait, no. It's a former Devils coach. We know he doesn't operate vehicles well. Andrew
Did you
Brunette.
hear
Oh my!
Is that the correct answer?
Lindy Ruff.
I feel like Mike Babcock might.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know.
He walks into the cockpit. Show me your phone.
Show me the controls. Show me the controls. But anyway, what was your sleeper team?
My
Of
sleeper
the season.
team.
In the
I
pick'ems.
think I picked Ottawa a fair amount.
The Sens, baby.
Um,
Brady.
I definitely never picked the Blackhawks. I know that much.
I think a big team for me that was a little bit of a sleeper, even though they're a playoff team, was the Winnipeg Jets. I feel like I remember taking them a whole lot. this
WPG,
season.
man. WPG.
You know what? The Flyers too for a while. Like I was picking the Flyers early and they got really hot, and then obviously the end didn't go the way they wanted it.
Well, that's just how it is here. But we're 15 minutes in. Pick'ems are over. We know the winner or the loser. Let's get into the playoffs, man, because they're here. And with the playoffs, we're going to start out west. Everyone, get your brackets ready on NHL Game Center for the Bracket Challenge. Because we're going to start this off with the first series out west, and it's actually last year's Western Conference Final. We've got the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars. Thoughts, everyone? Let's talk about the seasons both these teams had first off. Dallas has been a team that for the past few years is due to win a championship. They're now winning the Central Division, and they're going up against Vegas, who is the reigning champion, but they're a wild card team. And not only they're a wild card team, but they're a wild card 2, right? The second wild card team. So the 8th seed in the West. Last year's Western Conference Final. Does it have a different result the second time around?
Yes, I think it does. I think Dallas, this is their year to make a deep run in the playoffs because they were the best team in the Central Division. I believe they were the best team in the Western Conference. And I think that this is kind of their year to put their money where their mouth is. They've had some great seasons in the past, made the Stanley Cup final a couple years ago. But I think when I look at this Western Division landscape, that this is because Winnipeg, I'm not sold on them 100% that they can make a run. Same with Vancouver. And then you got Colorado, which you can't really... Even though they're the 3 seed, they might be Dallas's toughest test to go to the Stanley Cup final. So I think Dallas is going to take this series.
Take this series against
I
Vegas?
think it's going to be a closer series because Vegas, of course, is going to have Mark Stone back. They'll probably have half the roster that they end of the season with probably Tomas Hertl will make his Vegas debut in this playoff series. So would not be shocked. Would not be shocked either way what happens, but I have Dallas winning this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dallas as well. If you look at the Golden Knights roster, they're good, but I know it's hypocritical when they won a cup, but I feel like there's still some missing. Like they don't have that true like elite talent. They're a good team, but compared to Dallas is just, they're going to be so good for a long time. Their drafting is phenomenal. I mean, most of their roster is locked up homegrown talent who they have on solid deals. They're really just a powerhouse, but the kind of crazy thing is their only weak spot is goaltending, which was their strong spot last season. Jake Ottinger did not have as great of a season as people thought he would. So that's going to be something to watch out for, but it's not like Vegas has a goalie that's like really like phenomenal. I mean, look how far Adin Hill took them last year. Like he wasn't like talked about in the same regards as say Sergei Bobrovsky or Igor Shesterkin. So I agree with Tanner. It's going to be a closer series, but I don't really see a way that the Stars don't come out with it unless it's just a complete collapse or a guy like Jack Eichel maybe just goes on some historic playoff run like Draisaitl did last season.
Alexander Daly.
Yeah, I'm hopping on the Stars train with you guys. I think Vegas, I don't know, they didn't impress me much this year. I think that fire from the last 2-3 seasons that they had is slowly burning out, and I think they're being put up against a juggernaut in the first round, and Dallas is going to come away with this one.
And one more thing, it lets you choose here how many games in this first round. You can choose how many games the team wins. So after you fill it out, it'll ask for how many games series will go. I think the series will go 7 genuinely, because listen, this is a tough one. If you look at the regular season, Vegas beat Dallas every single time they played, all 3 times. And does that have merit coming into the postseason? It has to have some, of course, because that's the teams they're dealing with right now.
It's at least got to be in your mind if you're Dallas that you've lost to this opponent.
2 of them, one time was in overtime, one time was in a shootout, though, right? So it's not like, but the other time they actually got like destroyed, 6-1 or something like that. So they certainly have their number. But it's time, man. Dallas is a good team. That's what I love with the NHL playoffs. It seems like there's not a bad series until we get to.
Yeah.
We'll get to the other side of in the West though. I feel like every single one of these series is genuinely, it's a good series.
In 2018, when the Devils made the playoffs as a wild card, they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning every single time they played them that regular season, and then just got mopped. Like couldn't even compete with them in the playoffs. So. Regular season something that does have to be taken with a grain of salt when it comes to playoff time, but obviously you'd still rather win the games in the regular season than lose them.
I feel like with this one here, you got Vegas as the playoff experience. They are the reigning Cup champions. They're not going to get swept in the first round. And Dallas is a team that also, on the other hand, won the Central, is due. So I think this series goes the distance, but give me the Stars getting the upper hand in 7 on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas in 6, but I agree. I think this will be a much closer series than stats might show or whatever, but I'm really looking forward to this series because there's 2 teams, Western Conference Final last year. So, Dallas is out for revenge and Vegas wants to assert all the dominance that they could put on Dallas because they've kind of beat up on them in the regular season and they beat up on them last year. So I think we're going to see Vegas. They want to get past this notion of like 1 year wonder and now they go and all their players get hurt and now they're not good anymore or they're just barely sneaking into the wild card, and I think they don't want that. They want to build a team for the future, and I think this will be a 6-game series. I like it.
Building for the future. Who's your so how many games, Daniel and Alex, is this series going to go?
I could see 6.
Yeah, I'm really liking 6 as well. That's what I was going to say.
6 around the board. I'm going 7. And last thing, who's your favorite player to watch out for on both of these teams?
Well, I'm gonna go Mark Stone now. I could see him having a huge playoff series, and the Twitterverse and everywhere else will not be happy about it.
Imagine
know
if
how
like
it is.
imagine if it's like a Game 7 overtime winning goal, Tomas Hertl to Mark Stone.
Oh,
that would-
brutal. That's brutal right there. Don't even talk about that. That's brutal. That's a tough one. That's a tough one because, Vegas does their thing. They do their thing. What's the thing they call? What do they call it, man?
Cap
Cap circumvention, baby. Let's go. Do it every year. And here it is one more time. They finished with 98 points, 45-37, their regular season record. But regardless, my favorite player to look out for on this team, this is a hard one. Give me Jack Eichel or Jonathan Marchessault on this Vegas team, because Eichel was elite this year. Had him on my fantasy team. We saw him put up numbers, then he got injured. I'm going to go with Jack Eichel as well. I feel like he's become a bad guy ever since he left, and now he's on Vegas. But he's a Cup champion now. Sabres fans can cry about it. That's how it is. Favorite player to look out for on this Dallas team. I know everyone loves Jason Robertson. How can you not love Jason Robertson, right? He is the guy, point a game, and I feel like he is going to be the one to take care of business on this Dallas team. But don't forget about Captain America. Joe Pavelski is there as well. Jake Ottinger this year, solid season, but not as shut down as I feel like his seasons have been in past years.
I think Ott's going to have a great playoff run. I think he's going to be really strong for them.
It wouldn't surprise me, for sure.
But we're all in agreement. Dallas has taken this series.
Yeah.
Let's hope they win it, honestly, because does anyone want to see Vegas?
No.
No,
Nope.
right? No.
Nope. It's the same thing as if like AJ wins.
It's the same thing as if AJ wins. Justin says, I didn't come in last. Yeah! Let's clap it up for Justin not coming in last, man. But regardless, he was real close there. He was real close there. So now we're going to switch series.
Hey, we're all above 500.
We're all above 500. And now we're going to move over to the other Central Playoff Series. We got the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche.
This is going to be a great series.
Yeah. It really is.
Jets.
Well,
With a name
this is a
like
good
that,
one.
they can't win, though.
Like this is a series that I look at it, and you look at it from an outsider hockey perspective, and this is probably one of the series, especially the series in the West, that you're like,
Who do you choose?
well, you look at it as like someone who has watched the entire season, like all year. You're really excited for this one, but if you just go and you're just kind of watching just for the playoffs, you're going to be like, okay. And you might see that in like how the games are scheduled, but this is one series that I am definitely looking forward to. I mean, two of the best teams in the Central Division, they were fighting all year. I think Colorado, we saw just last week,
They got destroyed.
they got
mopped.
destroyed 7-0, and I think that game alone is going to play a huge role in this series and how it is going to fare. Who am I picking? I would say this is probably the toughest one to pick. Because I could see both teams definitely winning. I think this one also is going to go 6 or 7 games. And I am going to take the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, boy. This man. Look, here's how I feel about this one. It's the same story as Vegas-Dallas. 3 times these teams played in the regular season. 3 times the Winnipeg Jets won, right? And they didn't just win. They won 7-0. And the other 2 times, they won 4-2 and 6-2, right? They've taken this team down each time they've played them. But at the very same time, we know what Nathan McKinnon is capable of in the playoffs. He's a Stanley Cup champion. This Winnipeg Jets team, are they really due? I mean, they're good, but they're like another Leafs. They're like another Wild.
Yeah, they are. That's
Yeah.
And I know that they're a 100-point team. They're one of the best teams in hockey this season. Connor Hellebuck is playing.
And he's going to win the Vezina.
He's going to win the Vezina. He's playing.
Unless Sergei Bobrovsky somehow
He
wins.
has. If you look at just his regular stats and if you look at his advanced stats, he had one of the best seasons we've seen by a goalie in a while. But he's going to be the difference if Winnipeg wants to make a deep run, but I just don't think they have that firepower and that depth that Colorado has, and that a lot of teams in this Western Conference have, because their leading point scorer is 72 points by Mark Scheifele in 2024, which great player, but outside of that, there's no real player in that lineup that
Tyler Toffoli.
That I could
Tyler
think
Toffoli
can make or break a series.
No,
make or break
I
a
completely
game.
agree.
I also agree that this is the hardest matchup to pick in this entire bracket. And even though that the Jets, 6 days ago now, shut out the Avalanche 7-0, I think Nathan MacKinnon is an absolute monster, and I think that Colorado offense is stronger than Hellebuck is. So I'm taking Avalanche.
I mean, you look at it this way.
In 7, I will take.
Colorado averages more goals a game, but Winnipeg's defense is stronger per game. It really comes down to the fact that Nathan MacKinnon has 138 points on the year and Mark Scheifele has 72, and those are the two leaders on each team. Nathan MacKinnon, if my numbers are correct, has more assists than any Jets player has points. Because he does. He has 89 assists on the season. No Jets player has 89 points.
No Jets player is 80.
No Jets player is 80. No Jets player has 75.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like even though they just swept them in the regular season, the playoff experience on Colorado is undeniable. They won the Cup 2 years ago. Nathan MacKinnon is like the Kawhi Leonard of the NHL. This man turns up in the playoffs, and this man is about to win a Hart Trophy. So, look, you got to give him a series at least. Give me the Avs over the Jets in 6 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's going 7, but I fully agree. I like how MacKinnon. I just am taking the surefire power of this Colorado team before Winnipeg. They're better built for the playoffs than Winnipeg is.
100%.
Yeah, this is a series that Nathan MacKinnon will completely take over. Just watch.
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement. Avs taking this one?
Yes.
It's going to be a tough, though. It's going to
gonna-
go the
yeah.
distance, for sure.
How many games? I'm going 6. Y'all going 7?
Yeah, I'm
7.
taking 7.
I'm going to go 7.
7 around the board. So y'all were in complete
Wow.
agreement. It's the first 2 playoff series. We
Yeah.
got some
Yeah.
parity going on here. So now we're going to get into an interesting one. Out in the Pacific time, we've got Vancouver versus the Central Division Nashville Predators next up. This is exciting.
I love this Nashville team, dude.
I know.
I think they're so fun, and I don't think the Canucks are ready for the playoffs yet. I think they're a
Whoa.
good team, and I think they're very talented, but I think they're very I think they're not ready to have that playoff experience. I think maybe next year they could have a better run, but I think this is going to be an early exit for the Canucks.
This series gives me the same vibes as the Devils Rangers last season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's going
gotta
to be
agree.
extremely close, there's a word I'm looking for where
You have
it's like must-watch TV.
Yeah, but you have a team that similar to that series last year. You have a team in Vancouver that is putting up has put up fantastic numbers all season, but you have this Nashville team that got hot at the right time. And again, the West matchups this year, and most of the matchups in general, are just great hockey. Are like probably because these are two teams that you have a Nashville team that has been in the playoffs a lot the last couple of seasons, but this is a younger core. It's not the team that they once had. Yes, Philip Forsberg is still there, but they got a lot of guys that are new to this system, and they kind of came out of nowhere. Same with this Vancouver team. They were almost the similar team as last year, and just shot right out of the cannon in the regular season, did not look back. This one's tough because I did, and I think my number one thing at least is I saw this Vancouver team play the Rangers, and I know it was early in the season. I know it was in January, but they were absolutely toying with that team. They literally, the Canucks could do whatever they want in that game. But Nashville did end the season, playing great. The last 30 games, they were probably one of if not the best team in the league.
He's just exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Breathe, Tanner.
All right.
This
Breathe.
is a really tough decision.
I'm going with the coin flip. I'm going to go take the Canucks in this one. But I really like Nashville. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
I could definitely see Nashville taking the series.
Nashville landed in a great situation because as a wild card team, this is perfect for them. They've
Yeah.
got a team in front of them that has no playoff experience.
Yeah, you got a team in
So-
front of them that has no playoff experience, and if they win that series, they have a matchup which they could definitely take down one of LA or Edmonton.
So I feel like Vancouver's in a similar situation as Florida was 2 years ago. The Cats won the President's Trophy. Not that Vancouver did that, but they won their division. They got to the playoffs, right? They had no playoff experience. But they're still such a good team. Vancouver's got to get one. I feel like
Yeah.
they got to get one. And against
Yeah.
a Nashville team that turned up hot. But look, Vancouver beat Nashville all 3 times again. So that's the 3rd time in a series so far in these playoffs where they have swept each other. I feel like Vancouver, now that regular season is finally going to show off, they're going to get one series against this Nashville team that has a good defense and good goaltending. You can't fault Roman Josi and UC Saros, the best 2 players on that team. It's a fact. But I don't know if it's enough here. Philip Forsberg, again, great player. And even Gustav Nyquist and Ryan O'Reilly did solid work. But I think Vancouver has the skills this year to get a playoff series under their belt. Give me the Nucks in 5 games. Yo.
Wow.
5.
I'm going with 6 in this series, but Vancouver in 6, but it's going to be a close game every series.
Give me the Preds in 6.
Woo, baby.
Give me,
He did
give me Preds in 5. I'm not messing around here anymore. I'm not messing around with this team.
So you have no faith in the Nucks, huh? No
I-
faith? It's a no faith season?
No, I'm probably going to be completely wrong.
I'm going to be
But-
completely wrong.
But I don't know. I just don't. I don't see them coming away with this series. I could be able to go farther than 5, but
Who's the player to watch for on both of these teams? If I'm Nashville, I feel like UC Saros.
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah,
The
definitely.
goaltender that wills them to the playoffs every single year. 2 years ago when they made the playoffs, they got destroyed by Colorado in the first round. And that was the only bad series that year, I remember.
Yeah.
So this year, now they're coming back.
And they're
don't
back
know.
with a vengeance, but
I think Vancouver has the business.
I think the guy to look out for. They've had a lot of their star players that have been there for a long time, and I think that's the really interesting thing about this Canucks team is that they don't really have many new guys in the fold. They do have Elias Lindholm, who they traded for. They have Phil Peronic, who's playing great hockey this season, but their top 4 point scorers are JT Miller, Quinn Hughes, Elias Patterson, and Brock Besser, who have been there for almost, especially Hughes, Patterson, and Besser have been there for 5+ years, and they haven't really been able to put anything together. And just this year, they're able to put it together. I think Quinn Hughes is the guy to look at for.
That's what I'm going with.
Vancouver.
This one Hughes brother in the playoffs, he's got to turn up. You got to have one turn
He
up.
kind of. I know it didn't go anywhere for me, but I drafted him in fantasy, and that was the best draft. I'd had him and JT Miller in fantasy, and that was the best draft pick that I had.
Daniel, players to look out for on both teams.
So definitely Saros for Nashville. For Vancouver, I think it's gonna have to be Quinn Hughes. I mean, he's such a driver. He's such a driver of offense. If you didn't know, he has 2 brothers in New Jersey.
Dude, no, dude, wait.
I didn't know that.
Hold on. I need to stop the show real quick. What'd you say? He has 2 brothers?
He does have 2 siblings. They
Where
are
are
both of the male gender who
Where?
happen to work in Newark, New Jersey.
Where?
Wow, what a
Wait.
coincidence.
Huh.
So you mean to tell me they're in Newark, New Jersey? What team plays in Newark, New Jersey?
Well, they're part of a business and this thing called professional ice hockey, I think,
Dude.
which is part of a larger corporation called the National Hockey League. They're like team employees. I don't know what their role is. They're like skaters or something like that.
They're like skaters. I think they're skaters. That sounds. It's ringing a bell. It's honestly ringing a bell to me right now. It's ringing a bell right now. But like, I feel like. So what team plays? Like, what's the team called?
Well, there's a lot of teams that play there. You have PWHL New York. You have 3 Ice in the summer. There's a lot of hockey teams. that play
NJIT
there.
Highlanders?
NJIT. You got Governor Livingston for the high school
Yeah,
finals.
yeah.
So there's a lot of hockey teams that play in that building.
So the New Jersey Devils, though, really, that's what they play for, right?
I think so.
think-
I'd have to double check.
Do you know anything about that team?
Personally,
You know, I really could use a report on them.
I really do as well. I'm a big fanatic,
I could.
and I really
fanatic.
could use a report and a fan page. Also, I feel like all of that combined, that my state of mind really represents how I want to shout
Yeah,
at this team.
But
you know what I'm saying?
I really,
Like,
for real though, I could use some dot coverage on them.
oh, dude, you could use some dot coverage. We'll get to some dot coverage later. That's a fact.
if you want some dot coverage, you'll maybe get one post every 3 weeks.
One post every 3 weeks. He's presenting in class. Alex, when is he presenting in class?
I have no idea, but I'm sure we're gonna see.
We're
that
going to see some
Instagram
dot
page
coverage in there.
all
We're seeing
over
some
it.
dot coverage. But back to our NHL coverage here. So the two brothers play for the Devils. Interesting. Well, that's too bad for them. But Quinn Hughes
Yeah,
gonna beat. So we got two Predators
pause.
and two Canucks. Two Canucks in the building here. That's how we're feeling. And there's one last series.
Guys,
Huh?
guys.
What, bro? What?
I feel like we've seen this one before.
I feel like
No.
we've seen this one before.
No.
These two teams, I don't know, but maybe they've played each other in previous years. I'm not quite sure,
It's gonna be different this time.
but it could be different this
It's gonna be
time.
different this time, guys.
We got the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. Now, hear me out, guys. In 2022, the Edmonton Oilers beat the Los Angeles Kings. In 2023, the Edmonton Oilers beat the Los Angeles Kings. So let's just take a look at the 2024 chances of the same exact matchup between the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. Because during the regular season, these teams met up quite a few times, considering they're in the same division. They always got to play. First time they met up in December. 3-2, the Oilers beat the Kings in a shootout. Not overtime, not regulation, a shootout. Second time they played, in February 10th, 4 days before Valentine's Day. Kings win 4-0. Ruin their Valentine's Day. Bad guys. Bad guys for doing that. And then at the end of the month, February 26th, the Oilers came back, beat the Kings 4-2. And had a fourth matchup in March 28th. 28-3. All Falcons fans loved that day. And the Oilers won 4-1, taking the season series 3-1. And they will take this playoff series in 6 games. The Oilers are going back because they own the Kings, and they'll own them once again. Connor McDavid, you gotta give him one.
I'm taking the Oilers as well.
It's kind of crazy looking back how horribly the Oilers started this season.
It is.
Yeah.
I said
Like,
they were
that's-
gonna miss the playoffs. I'm such a cold take.
What were they like?
They're
they were
fans.
1-9 or something, 1-10.
Yeah, something like that. I follow this big Oilers page on Instagram, Mimamoto, if any of you
Dude,
are familiar.
Mimamoto's
Yes,
a goat,
yes,
man.
yes.
Mimamoto's a goat.
And I remember him posting a thing like the Oilers dug such a big hole for themselves that they need to go on like a historic run just to be able to make the playoffs as a wild card team. And literally
They made it as a
they
playoff
lost
team. Made it
they
as a
lost
team.
maybe like 2 games in the next 2 months. And literally they didn't even have to take that long to get back into a playoff spot. Like they literally turned from record-wise one of the worst teams in hockey to one of the best, like with the firing of their head coach, obviously. But that's not the only reason. There was so much bad luck involved. I remember the Sharks game where everyone was like, okay, if the Oilers lose this, like we know they're firing him. And the Oilers outshot them by probably 4 times. Like shots had to be 50 to 12 or something like that. And the Sharks beat them 2-1. And, you just knew that wasn't sustainable. You knew the way they were playing, they were going to figure it out eventually. And obviously McDavid wasn't 100% either. He had a slow start to the season. Otherwise, he would have I mean, his point totals are phenomenal already, but if he started the season healthy, who knows what he would have had. There was a point where he was like under a point per game. He had like, I think it was like 12 points in 13 games, which for Connor McDavid is horrible. But I mean, they're a complete team, and just with McDavid and Draisaitl alone, the amount of offense they could bring and just completely take over a game in ways that very few, if any, players can. So I know we had that whole Draisaitl versus Hughes debate earlier in the year.
Phenomenal.
And I stand on my point there, but McDavid's a different story. McDavid's I would think the best player in the National Hockey League.
100 assists, man.
So he had, I don't want to say as bad as Mike Trout, because at least the Oilers have made the playoffs, but he really hasn't found that success. It doesn't matter if you don't get a cup. Igor Shesterkin's words after the Devils were eliminated, or after they got eliminated to the Devils, it doesn't matter if they don't win the cup. And it's true. Can't fault them for it. That's the case here with McDavid. He needs a cup to his resume.
Yeah.
He absolutely does.
If he wants to rival being the GOAT at some point, he needs a cup. He needs at least one cup, because I think it would kind of be this all-encompassing moment of a guy who's the best
Pat
player,
Maroon can have a cup.
who's the best player,
Then
the best player we've
Curtis
seen,
McDermott has a cup.
the best player we've seen arguably since Wayne Gretzky winning a cup in Edmonton. That would be pretty cool to see, and I think they're gonna take this one. And I think I just don't like the Kings. I didn't even know they were in the playoffs until I saw that they clinched.
They're kind of irrelevant. I get what
Yeah,
you're saying,
yeah.
especially for a Los Angeles team.
And I think that this year we've seen players on Edmonton step up. Like Evan Bouchard had an 80-point season. That didn't really happen before. Their number one defenseman before was Darnell Nurse, who would put up 40 points maybe in a season. But now they have guys. They have Zach Hyman, who I know he's playing with McDavid and Draisaitl, but he's 54 goals in the season.
Did you guys see that guy on Twitter that tried to discredit Hyman's season?
because of how he scores, in front of the crease.
Yeah.
They try to do that with
I've
Kreider,
never
too.
seen anyone get ratioed as hard as he made an 8-minute rant.
No, we've seen Editor and Leaf. Come on now.
Editor and
You know-
Leaf is up there,
you know-
but this guy made an 8-minute rant basically trying to say Zach Hyman is not good at hockey, and he has how many goals?
54.
I
Yeah.
love McDavid. I love McDavid and all, but I really don't know if I could see Evander Kane handing off the Stanley Cup to Corey Perry.
Huh.
I don't know if I can mentally handle that.
So who's winning this series, y'all? I have Edmonton in 6.
Edmo in 5.
Edmo in 5.
All right, you guys are cute.
He's gonna say LA.
You guys are cute with this Oilers hype, and they are a great team with some great talent. Don't get me wrong, and as much as this hurts to say, because I do not like the Kings in the slightest, and I end up seeing Will Ferrell in a Kings jersey more than any of their players.
No, I know this is because Met legend Justin Turner is a Kings fan.
But I think the Kings are angry. I think they're put up with this Oilers own the Kings. I think it's time for them to fight back. I think they're going to take the series a distance and come out with it in 7 games.
Kings lack in 7, baby. He says lack in 7. So, based off of that right now, this man is going to have a Predators Kings second round.
Sure am.
Okay. So now let's dive into that Western Conference second round, potentially how it would look. We all said Dallas and Colorado. Now who advances from there? I am going to go with the Dallas Stars once again. That team is due. And look, that team is hungry. They were in the Western Conference Final last year. It just seems right. It just seems like it's their time. They're going to have home ice advantage if that was the case. Give me that one. Give me the Stars to make it past the Colorado Avalanche.
I'm going to take Dallas as well. I really do like Colorado, and I really think that they do have a chance to take home another Stanley Cup this year, but I think Dallas, this is their year. I picked them last year, and I don't know if anyone remembers my bracket from last year, but
Woo, baby!
I think my Stanley Cup final will be the same from last year this year, but I'll let you know. But I'm taking Dallas again.
I will
Dallas Stars.
Dallas.
Dallas Stars.
Yeah, I'm joining you guys. It's gonna be Dallas.
And Daniel says.
Dallas.
So we're all in agreement. The Dallas Stars will be in the Western Conference Final. If we're wrong, we're all so smart.
I could see us all being wrong. I mean, the Avalanche are good. I could see it going both ways, but I think Dallas is the better team.
Now the other side's going to be interesting because we all have different teams. I have Vancouver, Edmonton, and so does Tanner, but Daniel has Nashville, Edmonton, and Alex has Nashville Kings. So Tanner, we'll start Vancouver, Edmonton, right? That's where I believe the Nucks will lose. I believe
Me
they're going
too.
to get one, but the Oilers have the playoff experience over Vancouver, and this is where Connor McDavid punches his ticket back to the Western Conference Final
Me
to
too.
take on the Dallas
Yeah,
Stars.
I got Edmonton as well. I think that this is they had that great pace, and I think that this is. I think whoever, if I'm a team in this Western Conference, I love the matchups that I might be able to get because I think every team in here could beat every team. So it's not like Nashville. I could see them going all the way to the Western Conference Final. I could see Edmonton going all the way. LA, maybe, I don't know, but give me the Oilers.
So now we're going to move over to Daniel. If it's Nashville, Edmonton, who's winning this?
I think it's Edmonton easily. I mean, I'm just so high on the Oilers right now. Sorry, Alex. But, again, I mean, especially against the Preds who aren't as loaded as a roster, McDavid's going to skate them into circles. And that'll be the difference. I could see him having 20 points that series.
And lastly, so we three of us have Dallas and Edmonton in the Western Conference Final.
So
For Alex Daly, he's got the Kings and the Predators playing in this series. So he can't have the Edmonton Oilers in the final. So who is going to make it to the Western Conference Final out of the Preds and the Kings?
So you know who's going to make it? It's going to be the Nashville Predators. And to back up my point, one of my buddies actually made a fantastic point about Ryan O'Reilly and his journey with the Blues in 2019. I think this is a very, very similar team, and I could see that same history repeating itself. Give me the Preds against the Stars in the conference.
The
final.
wild card team that goes all the way to the Western Conference Final and takes on the Central champion. And now that brings us to the Western Conference Final itself. The three of us have the Stars and the Oilers. Who's making it? Tanner Price to the Stanley Cup Final. Jason Robertson and the boys, or Connor McDavid and the boys?
Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars. I'm taking the Stars to go to the Cup Final. I think that a Stars Oilers Western Conference Final would be one of the best series we've ever seen. But give me Dallas.
Daniel.
It's got to be Edmonton.
Ooh,
That's going
this
to be
is
a
the
really
year.
good. That's going to be a really
This
good
is
series,
the year
though. I
Connor
could.
McDavid is in
I
the
have.
Stanley
I have
Cup Final.
so much respect for the Stars, and I could definitely see them winning the series. Like, I'm not going to say the Oilers are a lock, but if I had to pick a team, I think it's the Oilers. I really think this is the year for McDavid, just like Ovechkin had his year.
That's true. Ovechkin had his year against Vegas.
They're just, he's too talented to not. And now they have supporting pieces. In the early stages, it was kind of just him, but there are so many more pieces around him in Edmonton. He's just so good at hockey. It
so
has
good
to
at
happen.
hockey.
It has to
He's
happen.
so good.
Do the Oilers make it out of the first round if Connor McDavid has a headache?
A headache.
A headache. Daniel, do they if he gets a headache?
Um.
Oh.
This is why
yes.
I can't be sold on this team. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I can't.
Yes, they do. Because
Hey.
I'm not that high on LA.
Valid. That's fair.
Valid. So the Kings are in the Cup Final. I'm with Tanner, taking the Dallas Stars. I feel like this is where Edmonton reaches their limit again. History repeats itself a whole lot, especially in sports. It just happens. And you see a team like this Oilers team, they've run out of gas, and Dallas has the best top six in the league, arguably, with Florida. Those two teams have the top 2 top 6s in the game. Dallas is certainly up there. They have the goaltending as well. I think this is their chance. They're due. They're due. They've been due. And they're going to the Stanley Cup Final. The Stanley Cup Final will be out there down south in Dallas. And that leaves us with Alex Daly. With the Nashville Predators and the Dallas Stars. Which team is going to the Cup Final?
So sadly, this will be the end of our wild card run
This
for
is
the
the
Nashville
end for
Predators.
Nashville.
This
It's
is
Jover.
just too tough, way too tough of an opponent for them. And with the Stars, they're too good. I don't see anyone in the West beating them, no matter who they are, or no matter if they have Jesus on skates. I don't think it matters. Give me the Stars.
So the Stars, 3 of us have the Stars in the Stanley Cup Final, and Daniel has the Oilers. Some very good parity there, and that's the Western Conference. That's how we see it. As Eastern Conference fans, we have an interesting look on the West.
We do.
We have a lot of Stars love, and a lot of love elsewhere. But now we can talk about some away from the playoffs news. The Utah Coyotes.
So
The
sad,
Utah
man.
hockey team right
The
now.
Utah hockey
The
team.
posts, dude, of the
They,
fans.
they actually broke my heart.
They're just crying and sharing all these amazing moments they had at being an Arizona Coyotes fan.
I didn't think the Arizona Coyotes moving somewhere else would emotionally impact me at all.
My God.
But I was
man.
scrolling on TikTok the other day, and I see that this dude made like a thank you post to the Coyotes, and the first picture is a picture of him and his dad and at a Coyotes game, and it was like like Joe and Dad's first hockey game, like December whatever 1997, and that just like made me just
So
that the waterworks were out because I was like, oh man, like because I'm thinking of like my first like Mets game and my first like the fact that like you might
Yeah.
not be able to go like
it's done.
it's done. You might
yeah.
not be able to go, and even if they do come back into the league, it won't be the same.
it's a completely
Yeah.
different team.
It's a completely different team. I know all the stats will stay the same, but like even the players that you might have grown up watching, like it's a shame that because this happened, like it's a shame that all the great players like that this Utah team is starting off new, that like Shane Doan is just kind of going to be forgotten by like nobody is going to go to a Coyotes game and be like, oh, who's number 19 in the rafters? It's like that's just gone, and it's just tough.
It's completely different.
It's completely different, and I think it's sad that it was able to get to this, and that that I don't know. It's just rough to see.
Yes.
So, sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time in NHL history that a team is completely rebranding. Like, we'll never see the Arizona Coyotes again.
We could.
we could.
So what's happening is basically okay. Basically, what's happening?
Let's dive into it.
I equated it to what happened with the Cleveland Browns
Okay.
when they moved to Baltimore. Is that the NHL did not want the Coyotes to play next year, and they don't know where their home stadium is. So they're moving them to Utah. But if the Coyotes get approved for a stadium in the next 5 years, the Coyotes will start as an expansion franchise.
I gotcha. I see.
But I think it needs to be in the next 5 years that a stadium in Arizona needs to be approved, and if that happens, it will go back to the current Coyote, technically now the former Coyotes owners. So the Coyotes still have a chance to be around, but they're not moving to Utah and then moving back.
Right.
And that's not very likely that they get a stadium.
Because we've seen
Yeah.
we saw literally a proposal where the Coyotes were going to pay for it, and the city and Arizona was like, no, we're not
Like,
doing
And-
it.
can't they make some like super complex in Phoenix or something?
They
The
tried.
Suns
They've
or-
tried everything.
And the other thing is their ownership has profited $600 million after the first few years, so there's not the past few years, so there's not exactly a lot of motivation to go do all this because they're swimming in money regardless. Yeah. So it's kind of, to them, it's like, why go through the headache? Not that I agree with it. One of my writers for the hockey writers, Haynes Evans, who was on one of the first YouTube panels I did when I joined the company, he wrote for the Coyotes, but he was also a fan of them as well. And like you could tell how much passion he had. And he basically kind of the same thing like Tanner said. Like he grew up, it's how his family got close. Like they bonded watching Coyotes games every night. They had so many memories, season ticket holders, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he basically made this long post on Twitter saying like, I can't watch hockey anymore. Like I just can't do it. Like
I completely.
He's like emotionally distraught. He's not going to be a writer anymore. He left the hockey writers already. Wow. He can't do it. He said it's time for me to find another passion, and I just can't imagine what that's like when you grew up watching something, like and the fact that you still care so deeply about it and it got taken from you. It's not like you made the decision on your own to stop watching. You just don't have a choice.
Like I can't imagine like all the memories that I have of any of my teams, like all the memories that I have of the Mets and the Rangers. Like I just can't imagine just not being able to go to a Ranger game anymore. Like
or even watch them on
TV. Or even watch them on TV, watch them with my family, sit together down in our basement for a playoff series. Like those are some of the best memories that I have. And I was really like in 2022 when the Rangers made their like playoff run, it wasn't the best of times for me, and I was distancing myself like from hockey. I just kind of really wasn't into it, and that playoff run got me back into like the sport. And it's just like just thinking of not being able to watch one of my teams play is just like I can't even imagine it, because how could you go and root for, you know, I guess you could go there, but they're not the same team. They're not. They're going to be playing in Utah, but it's just a different team.
So let's clap it up for the Arizona Coyotes here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Won't be the same without that team, but we're going to take a quick break here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and when we come back, we're getting into the Eastern Conference, baby. It's time. And we are back here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair for this special anniversary week edition of Breaking the Ice. Connor Cupid alongside Tanner Price, Alex Daly, and Daniel Omoya. Where did he go? We're going to find out eventually as time goes on. But regardless, we've got these two Blue Shirts fans in the building. And look, there he is at the door. It's the Devils Report back in action. So we've got everyone back here. This guy loves running to the cage for his little equipment, little equipment run right there. But the first series we're going to be talking about in these Eastern Conference playoffs, the Blue Shirts and the Washington Capitals.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
It is finally time to be back in the playoffs, and honestly, as a Rangers fan, there's not another team in this playoffs that I would be more happy playing than the Capitals in the first round. I think they're the easiest opponent in the East, and I think, God, I hope the Rangers have no issue securing this series against the Capitals. And I'll be generous and give the Capitals a game, but I'm taking the Rangers in 5. They're just too hot right now.
Too hot right now, and no question about it. President's Trophy winners. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We will find out. But the Rangers certainly taking this series against Washington. This just one team is great. One team is not so great. Under 500 per se, actually. So, give me a sweep, man. Give me the Rangers taking 4 straight games.
I think the Rangers really, really need to have a 4 or 5 win series in the series, because after that, no series. It's going to be tough every time. every team they play is going to be tough because we saw in 2022, once they got to Game 3 against Tampa, once they lost that game, they were completely gassed and they were completely done. And that's because they played 2 7-game series to start, 2 hard-fought 7-game series. So I think their biggest thing is to win. Well, one is to win this series, of course, but it's to win this series swiftly. Don't mess around, which is one thing that if this series goes 6 or 7 games, will hurt them no matter what happens if they win the series. I have the Rangers winning. Of course, me being they won the President's Trophy. To me, that really doesn't mean anything. I'm still going to be stressed about it no matter what. I'm going to be watching every game of this series. You know, even if the Rangers are up 3-0 in the series, I'm going to be watching it thinking, okay, here comes the reverse sweep and everything like that, because it's just
that's just because you're a Mets fan.
Yeah.
Dude,
I've seen it.
you.
I've seen it way too many times. I'm taking the Rangers in 5.
So the first time these two teams met in December, Capitals won 4-0.
Oh God, I was at that game.
How was that game?
Oh, it was awful. It was awful. That was the infamous puck, the foot puck story.
The foot puck story.
Oh my God, that was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen because it was just Charlie Lindgren just going ham. For,
we get
for
Charlie versus
60
Ryan
minutes.
Lindgren in this series here.
Oh yeah.
That's the one reason why I'm just like, oh no, because I do not want to watch. If I have to watch 4 games of that series of that game again, I would rather just be the Sharks at that point.
Be a Coyotes fan.
Be a Coyotes fan.
Second time they played this year, Rangers took it 5-1 right after Christmas, a little Christmas present there. And then after that, they played the Caps in back-to-back days in January. First game, losing 3-2, then winning 2-1 the next day. So they're actually, although there's different records here, very, very even play when it comes to how they fared off against in the regular season. Split 2-2.
The games against Capitals they lost were probably the Rangers, probably 2 of their worst games of the season. They just did not look. And those came in that little rough patch for the Rangers in this season where they were not playing well. And that's when those games were, and that was probably the epitome of them. So they haven't really played the Capitals when the Rangers have been on their game. So I think we'll see them on their game in the series.
Have we talked about yet that possibly the only reason the Capitals are even in the playoffs is because the Flyers pulled their goalie in a tie game when they didn't have to?
I need to. It's absolutely insane, the actual timestamps of all these events occurring.
I was watching it all live.
Oh yeah.
Because the Flyers are getting so much hate, but the poor guy had no idea Detroit even tied it. So at 9:33 p.m. we have a Detroit goal to force overtime, which means Detroit gets a point no matter what.
But even if Detroit didn't tie it, they still have to win in regulation.
Right.
So, no matter what, he's doing that. No matter what.
That's true.
He's doing that.
No, but if the Red Wings getting the point automatically eliminated the Flyers.
Yeah, but still.
So
Detroit
needed
to
done
lose
at that
in
point.
regulation no matter what.
Yes.
So them forcing overtime
Eliminated the Flyers, which means in theory they didn't have to pull their goalie because they were already eliminated.
This was all in a 2-minute span. Detroit goal at 9:33. Flyers pull their goalie at 9:34. The Capitals score an empty net clinching goal at 9:35.
Well, if the Red Wings tied it in 1, which they did, and the Capitals lost that game, the Red Wings would have made it.
Yeah.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the.
And the Red Wings did win.
Yeah, the Red Wings did. They
Fought so hard.
That was one of
See,
the craziest. See Patrick Kane score a shootout winning goal. And
It was the most depressing shootout winner of all time.
Yeah. See, I was a little relieved when the Red Wings didn't make it. So they would have played the Rangers round 1, and I know Patrick Kane would have scored some dagger goal in the last second of game 1, and I would have just been like, "Come on!" It would be Kane feeds it to Kopp, back to Kane scores. I was
The crazy thing though is what might have kept the Flyers out of the playoffs despite the 8-game losing streak, despite losing their starting goalie, despite everything else, is the fact that they didn't have a team employee on the phone with someone in Detroit to find out what was happening in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually nuts. Like, it's a crazy story, and this type of stuff happens a lot in international play too, where like a team needs a certain amount, because the double IHF point system, it's 3 points for regulation win, 2 points for overtime win. So if they need a regulation win to advance, you'll see them pull their goalie in a tie game, and it's just like, it's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy how nuts the Capitals went that the Flyers basically just gave them a goal and said, here, take the wild card spot.
Right.
And obviously, like, the Flyers were doing it because they thought they were still in it and they needed that regulation win. But it's just, you don't see stuff like that too often. So, like you said, the timestamps were pretty ridiculous.
I think, in a Rangers standpoint, I think this was a fantastic scenario for us.
Yep.
Because I personally would rather play the Capitals than
I agree.
both the Red Wings and the Flyers.
So Rags and 4 for me. How are we doing around the board here?
5.
5.
Rags and 5.
Yeah, I gotta go Rangers in 5.
Hell yeah, baby. We're going to see some blue shirt action in the second round. And who will they be playing? We've got the New York Islanders versus the Carolina Hurricanes.
Sweep City, man.
This
Sweep
series
City.
happened last year, and the Islanders stole 2 games from the Carolina Hurricanes. But this year is different. Sweep City.
A
Canes in
hurricane.
4, baby. Come on.
Hurricanes going right through Long Island.
Hurricanes going right through Long Island. That's the first game of the playoffs tomorrow. The Hurricanes play the Islanders at 5.
Don't make me do it.
No.
Don't make me take 'em.
Oh, no.
Don't make me take them.
The first time these
The
two teams
sigh
met
is
up
back.
in November, the Hurricanes won 4-3 in overtime. The second time, the Islanders won 5-4 in overtime. So they split it 1-1. The third time, the Islanders won again 5-4. And then the fourth time the two teams met up, the Hurricanes got their last win, I believe, 4-1 in March. They split the season series 2-2. What is this guy going to say right now, bro?
I'm picking the Islanders.
I'm dead. I am so dead.
I don't know. Something about it.
In how many games?
7.
Islanders in 7.
Wait, what?
That is a hashtag.
I hope
take.
that happens.
Yeah,
I would
I know,
be
me
so
too.
happy
Yeah.
if that happens. But, good God. Yeesh.
Why not?
Yeesh.
Put it in the bracket. Put it
It's in the bracket. It's in the bracket. It's in the bracket.
I mean, what firepower do they even have besides, I guess, Bo Horvat, respectfully?
I
Kyle
don't know.
Palmieri.
Pierre Engvall? Like,
I think
Matthew Barzal and Noah Dobson, baby.
This is two teams that I think are, I wouldn't say similar, but they're two teams that have they don't have like that guy. There are a lot of like 1B players, I would say. Like the Hurricanes more than the Islanders because it's Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov, Jake Gensel. It's guys that
Seth Jarvis.
play well in their roles, but the thing that's been holding the Carolina Hurricanes back, and they haven't been able to figure it out the last couple of years, is that they don't have that certified like superstar player. Sebastian Aho is a good player, but he's not a 100-point player, and I think that's going to help hold them back this year. I think
Their goaltending is killing it, though, right now.
Yeah.
Freddie Anderson and Kochetkov, killing it.
But I think Sorokin's going to steal this series for the Islanders.
wow, after the year he's had?
I think I don't know.
He did play some great games against the Rangers in
Yeah.
his final, too.
So why not? Why not?
Wow.
Why not?
I was not expecting
Why
anyone
not?
to take the Islanders
And
today.
here we are. Tanner
And
Price
here
is
we
taking the
are.
Isles to win the
I
playoff
hope
series.
it happens.
Yeah,
Pretty
right.
sure Devils Fanatics would have taken the Islanders as well.
Yes, absolutely. He loves that team.
Frank the Tank take the Islanders, too.
Frank the Tank is too concerned with a different team in orange and blue right now.
So Alex and Daniel, who's winning this series and how many games?
It's going to be Carolina. I'll give them 6. So the Islanders could scratch out 2, but no shot they win.
I'm locking in my first sweep of this.
Oh
this
yeah,
bracket. Give me the Hurricanes in 4.
Tanner Price with the Isles pick. What a guy. So now let's jump right into that second round right there with just that. So Daniel, you, me, and Alex have Rangers Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
Who's winning that series?
Oh, we're going.
We're just gonna
straight
go
to the
that- we're
conference.
going that
so we
way.
can go to the Atlantic.
All right, we'll go to the Atlantic
Why
first.
It's too scary. I can't think about that yet.
Not yet. Lightning Cats. This is the year. This is the year they beat that team.
Why is that actually a sick team name? Lightning Cats?
The Lightning
What if they were
Cats.
like the Utah
The
Lightning
Utah
Cats?
Lightning Cats.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
But this is the year. Lost to them in 2021. Lost to them in 2022. It is 2024. They just stole the division from Boston's feet, ripped the rug right out from under them. This is the year Florida beats them in 6 games in the first round.
I'm sorry, Connor.
This guy right here, bro. This guy right
Yeah.
here.
I'm taking the Bolts.
This guy right here, bro.
I'm
They're-
also taking the
This-
They're the
these
most-
guys right
they're
here.
They're
These
the
guys right here.
because I know that they haven't had the best season points wise, but like Nikita Kucherov
Yup.
probably going to win the Hart Trophy this year.
McKinnon, bro.
I don't know. But
These guys are really saying this to
Kucherov.
me in front of my face. In front of my face. Alex
I'm
has a
taking-
completely different opinion.
I'm taking Bolts in 7.
And Daniel has the Bolts in.
It's probably gonna have to be 7. Yeah.
I can't believe this, guys. I'm taking the Cats. I'm sticking with them. The 1 seed in the Atlantic for a reason. They also have the lowest goals against in the
Best
playoffs.
defense in the league,
In
baby.
the entire playoffs, they are the least likely to be scored on. But yeah, I'm taking the Cats in 5. I'm sorry, I don't see the Lightning.
They don't
coming
see
out
the
of this
vision
one.
that these two guys see. It's all right. They've been struck. You know why Tanner's taking the Lightning? Because he got shocked that one time by the electrical
I did.
cord in the corner. So
did.
that's the reason he's taking the Lightning, because he just got PTSD. He's scared if he says something bad that anyone was going to come down and just strike the Lightning right on his head.
That was my last time on Breaking the Ice. I got electrocuted, so
That's the only. This is why.
so I'm scared. I'm scared.
He's just scared Enner was going to be like, I hear you. Here's God's judgment. Just boom. Right on the dome. It's all right. It's fine. Everyone is allowed to have their own, it's fine. 4, though, Cats and 6. We'll flip over now. Move down the Atlantic to Bruins Leafs.
What? It's a fun series, man.
We all know.
This is a good
We all
one.
know. Come on. We're all too smart for this.
Are we? Have we learned?
It's Bruins in 6.
I don't think I've learned.
Oh, no. It's
I don't think I've
Bruins
learned
in
either.
6. Dude. Bees in 6 on this one.
I
What?
raise you Toronto in 5.
Wow. I got him in at least 6.
Yeah, I'm
The
taking
Bruins are fraudulent. I've been like pretty tame with my takes, but the Bruins don't have that. Look at their roster. They're not
good.
that talented. They won, I think, maybe like 7 more games than they lost. Like even though points wise they were one of the best teams, they had like 15 overtime losses or something like that.
Yeah,
they were
15.
like just as bad as the Islanders in that category. Overtime losses, it doesn't matter once playoffs start. And I think they're going to get exposed, honestly. I really don't think they're that talented. Marchand's getting older. There's a lot of inconsistency. Pasternak's good, but he's not like McDavid Kucherov good. McKinnon, you could throw in that conversation as well. But Toronto, they're a strong team. And I'm not saying they don't have their flaws themselves, but I think last year they at least got the first round issue past them. And I think this is a year where they take a massive step, and they will do that by obliterating the Bruins in the first round. 5 games.
Dan, Like, I could not agree more, man. I don't think they're gonna absolutely obliterate them, but give me the Leafs in 6.
I'm
Or
taking Leafs
7.
in 6
Sorry,
as well.
give me 7.
I got Leafs in 6.
Man, Boston beat Toronto all 4 times they matched up in the regular season, and you guys are gonna see it. The Leafs are gonna leaf. They might have won a first-round series last year, and then what happened? They won 1 game after
They're
that.
hungry, man.
They're
starving.
They might be starving, but even starving
The thing
people
is-
can't eat food so well.
You want to know one good thing for the Leafs is, though? They don't have to worry about Austin Matthews going to Arizona anymore.
They don't have to worry about that
Wow.
one
So-
bit. So I have Cats, Bruins, Rangers, Hurricanes. Daniel's got Lightning, Leafs, Rangers, Hurricanes. Tanner has Lightning, Leafs, Rangers, Islanders. And Alex has Cats, Leafs, Rangers, Hurricanes.
Correct.
This is way different than the West. We got opinions around the table that
There
are
are
just
a
so
lot of-
different.
God, the East is so much more fun. This whole
Yeah.
combo got me
Yeah.
really excited for the
So now-
Western matchups, but the East is still. It's gonna be so fun.
Now let's talk about the second round of these playoffs. Rangers, Hurricanes / Rangers Islanders. For us Rangers Hurricanes supporters around the board, who's winning that series? I'll go first. We saw them play 2 years ago. Both teams. Hurricanes are a team that's due. They've gotten better every single year.
And the trade deadline made them even better than they were a few months ago.
But when they matched up in the playoffs last time, saw the Hurricanes have a little problems. I'm taking the Rangers to win the Metro and take their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals.
See, I'll comment on this even though I don't have it as the series. This, as a Rangers fan, I'm so scared of the Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh man, that would be such a great series. That would be such a great series to watch as not a Rangers or Hurricanes fan because, oh man, like, these are two teams that took the division at least down to the wire, down to the last couple of days, and
They almost braved us.
they almost did. I was scared. And that was the thing that I was scared that would happen because I said if the Rangers ended up getting second in the division, there's no chance they do anything.
No, their first
So
round
it's like-
exits.
I was like, if they lost the division, I know in hockey losing a division doesn't mean as much as some other sports, but if they lost that division, it would have been rough. But Rangers Hurricanes would be an all-time classic series.
Yeah.
But I think that we've seen it in the games the Rangers and Hurricanes have played this season. Igor Shesterkin. When it comes down to it, in big games against the Hurricanes, he shows up.
Daniel, Alex, who's winning? Canes, Rangers.
Rangers.
I'm taking the Rangers as well, but I will tell you right now, there will be no more nails to bite off my hands.
No
Yes.
more nails to fight off my hands.
I
It's
am
gonna
going
be filed.
to be an absolute nervous wreck as I am
Yeah.
every time the Rangers play the Hurricanes. I don't know. It's literally the same thing as the Mets playing the Braves in my eyes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just that same rivalry
That's
of
understandable.
of a team that got for no reason they're so obnoxious.
Well, I said
They're
last
so
year.
obnoxiously good.
yeah.
I said last year so many times that the Hurricanes were literally the Braves when the
They
Devils
are.
were chasing them.
Yeah,
Dude,
they're so just like
they're good and it's hard to say, but
it's hard. I wish like. I don't like them, but you gotta respect them.
I will take the Rangers in 6.
So now your Islanders Rangers series. Who's
Woo!
winning that one there?
Rangers in 5
That's we don't even need to dive into that.
because
We just-
I think that when it'll come to that, I think the Rangers match up against the Islanders.
Those
better.
last 2 games.
The Rangers match up better against the Islanders than I think the Hurricanes do.
4-2, 4-2,
Yeah, but
4-2.
I think that the Rangers will be able to stop the like physical play of the Islanders, the Rangers could do it better. I think that if it comes down to it, the Rangers will take down the Islanders pretty handily. But
Now, for my Lightning Leafs crew over here, which both of you guys have
yes,
in the second round. Who's going to the Eastern Conference Final to play the New York Rangers? The Tampa Bay Lightning or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
That would be a great matchup.
I'm gonna say the Leafs.
To the Eastern Conference Final, yo!
I was gonna go with the Leafs until you said that. I'm taking the Bolts because they're just Thanos said it. They're inevitable.
Tanner, dude, that's another series I cannot
Oh,
watch.
yeah.
A Lightning Rangers Eastern Conference Final would be the death of me. I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it.
I don't. The Rangers in the Eastern Conference, no matter who they play,
They have to go from beating the Hurricanes to having to beat the Lightning. God, that's just
redemption arc. Redemption arc. From
what all the 2010s meant comes down to this one right here.
I want to set a scene here for the second round Rangers Hurricanes. Just a picture of sold out PNC Arena, right? Fans like waving their towels and everything. PA announcers like, "Here are your Carolina Hurricanes."
Yes.
And out comes Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzy Albies on skates.
Matt Olson in that.
The Rangers are over.
They do like
instantly.
the opening, like when they sound the siren. Be like, with us tonight, Austin Riley. No, Spencer Strider. You know, he's not doing anything.
Yeah,
so
he has
he just
nothing
comes.
to
He
do.
just comes out on skates. Marcelo Zuna in net.
Dude. Now, the net goalie would have to be the catcher. It would have to be Sean Murphy in net. Travis
Darno comes back to haunt
Travis
even
Darno
more
with a 52
please.
save shutout against the Rangers.
in Game 7.
Man, Lightning, Rangers, Leafs, Rangers, Eastern Conference Final. Alex, you have Cats versus Leafs.
I do.
Who would go play the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Final?
Connor, I think our brackets on the East are going to be very, very similar. And give me the Cats.
Cats Rags. And I have that as well. The Rangers are going to beat the Bruins just like last year in my bracket. I said the Rangers. I'm dumb. The Panthers. Dude, Cats, Rangers, Eastern Conference Final. Would we go to the game?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How much we forking up to go to this game?
I'll probably already be in Florida.
Yeah.
So-
Wait, so you can still go to the game?
It would
just
prob-
go to
it
the
would
game
probably
at-
be-
at
It would probably be cheap.
I was
Probably cheaper
probably
to
cheaper
fly
to
down to
fly.
Florida. Go to
Yeah,
probably go.
Definitely would.
100%.
100%.
we go into the arena is Emirates Bank Arena.
Yeah.
We're heading to, dude, if you've ever been there, it's on the Everglades.
It
It's
is.
like, it's
It is.
literally, I've driven past it.
I still call it FLA Live.
The
Arena,
FLA
'cause
Live,
That was,
yeah.
that was the greatest name because
You-
why?
Because that was Kodak Black's favorite name for that arena too, man.
You know what I could see happening, which I would totally do? I could see Carolina being up like 3-0 on the Islanders in the first round, and you Islanders fans will be like, yeah, we're done, and there will be like $20 playoff tickets, and we should all just go.
for the last game at UBS.
And
That'd
we
be
should
so
we should
funny.
all just go to experience a playoff game, because even when the Devils were down 3-1 to Carolina, it was like $25 to get in the door to Game 5.
Dude, I
So-
remember last year Alex was like, dude, the Eastern Conference Finals are $100
Yeah, dude, it's so cheap down there.
because there's no
Really
ice, bro.
is.
There's no visiting
No
ice. They don't
ice.
care. So we got on your end, Tanner. Lightning Rangers. Is this the revenge year?
Of course it is.
He just clicked it. He just clicked it.
I just watched it have it clicked with authority.
With authority, Rangers coming for revenge.
So the Rangers are taking down the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup Final in our year 2024.
There's so much. The only thing that could get the Rangers a Stanley Cup, that could get New York a championship, is like the cosmic forces of God. And that's what's happening this year, because it's 30 years since 1994, the last time the Rangers won.
President's Trophy as
They
well.
won the President's Trophy that year. Vancouver's in the playoffs and could make a very deep run. 30 years ago, O.J. Simpson had his car chase.
Oh.
And what just happened? And that was the day of the Rangers Cup parade. And since then, they were cursed. And what happened? He just passed away.
The curse is gone.
So the curse is lifted. I think that it's just so much. It's like a mirror image. And I think it'll end the same way. With the Rangers going down the Canyon of Heroes.
The glove does not fit on Shesterkin.
I said, what NFL player will be if an NFL player is like a former NFL player is like found guilty of some crime in the next like 2 days, I'm just locking in like $500 on Rangers Stanley Cup final win, and like I'll set up my family for the next like seven generations.
Coach Maurice confirms Aaron Ekblad's ready to go for game 1. We're back. We're so back.
Oh wait, you know who else is going to be back?
Who's back?
Philip Hedl.
Woo,
What are they gonna do with him?
I don't know,
I'm
but
worried.
I thought Philip Hedl about like 4 months ago. I thought he was dead. If I'm being 100% honest, I thought he might be dead.
I am very happy for this because not only am I wearing his jersey, but Capo Caco, I personally believe if he can be reunited with Hedl,
Yeah,
that's some of the best hockey I've ever seen Caco and Hedl play together on a line.
and I think
he deserves a spot in our lineup. He's good enough to play.
he does.
What is he going to replace Goodrow? Maybe.
Maybe.
Because I don't want to put him too high on a line. He can't.
Yeah.
He can't go and get all these starting 6 minutes right off of an injury.
Yeah, you can't really give him that, especially in what's going to be a physical series, because you're definitely going to have a guy like Tom Wilson say, "All right, let me take him out." You're going to have something like that.
Yeah.
And also, the thing that it's going to be a very, very interesting look at the Rangers of what they're going to do, because you know it's going to be a physical series. So, do you take away the scoring because you have enough, and maybe put Matt Rempe in there to kind of control the play, kind of control the pace? Because I don't know, and that's what I'm looking for in this Rangers series, because they know the history of the Rangers. They know the history with Tom Wilson. They know how he plays. They know this Capitals team can get physical. Do the Rangers say, all right, well, we're taking it a step further and bringing our guy in who will fight? And they have a lot of players. It's a good problem to have. Don't get me wrong, but it's still a problem that they have.
Daniel.
I could just see Rempe taking just like a really unintelligent penalty.
Me too. That's what I was.
And it's one thing if you're playing the Devils and they're gonna get 2 shots in the 5 minutes and not score.
But that's what I really like. I love the guy, but after because I think he'll play in this series because the Rangers will need the physicality. After that, I don't want him. I don't want to see him take some penalty.
You gotta get through the first round.
Oh,
first.
I know. I definitely know, but I don't want to see him if they have to play a team like Carolina or if they have to play a team like Tampa take some dumb, stupid penalty.
Be brutal, miserable.
Because those teams will capitalize. They'll put up 2-3 goals on a 5 minute major.
Yeah, just look at the
100%.
Sharks Vegas game.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yes.
year that was.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So, Daniel, you got Leafs Rangers.
No, in the final?
Eastern Conference final, right?
Rangers.
You have Leafs Rangers. That's your Eastern Conference matchup, right?
Yeah.
And the Rangers are winning that?
Yeah, definitely.
So you have Rangers Oilers in the Stanley Cup final. Who is going to win the cup in Daniel Amoya's eyes in 2024?
It's Edmonton.
It's Connor McDavid's cup year, baby.
I've said it, and I will continue to say it.
Dude, if the Rangers go all that way and we lose to single-handedly Connor McDavid, and that's it,
I'm becoming
I'll cry.
a Utah fan.
I'd rather lose to anyone else in the West than the Oilers.
No,
Yeah.
Connor Brown's gonna get a big goal that series.
I'm becoming a fan of the Storm and Mormons.
Storm and Mormon.
Alex has Cats Rangers.
Whatever their team name's gonna be.
The Utah hockey team
The
and their
Ut-
mascot could be Zach Wilson.
I love the Storm and Mormons, man. That's
Utah.
amazing.
I'm becoming a Utah HC fan. I'm sorry. if the Rangers go all the way to the Stanley Cup final, and especially play a team like Edmonton and lose, I can't. There's no like, because
I don't know if I'll ever be
you
able-
finally got there, because I think at least for them, you got like, it's fun to make the cup final, but like you can't lose.
Will I ever find happiness again? I don't know.
Alex
see.
and I both have Rangers, Panthers.
Sorry,
This guy's
Connor.
taking the Rangers.
Sorry. So are
Meow.
you.
No, never. So we got, obviously, our matchups look like this. I have Stars, Cats. Daniel has Oilers, Rangers. You guys both have Stars, Rangers.
True.
Yep.
Oh boy. The Rangers are going to win the cup according to these two. But we're biased fans. Daniel's the only one with
Yeah.
a non-biased opinion.
Oh,
and he's got
It's
the
still
Edmonton
biased.
Like
Oilers.
It's still biased.
literally, I'm sorry, I can't bet against my team.
Yeah.
If the Mets make it as a 5 seed, I'm picking the Mets to go all the way. I'm sorry, I can
Uh-uh,
never, in my right mind, do it unless it's like my team would be like, like the 6 seed in like a I'm not like some. If my team was like the 10 seed in the play-in game, like then I'm not taking my team. But if my team's in the playoffs, I'm taking them no matter what. I'll take the Rangers for the next 30 years if I have to,
Yeah, so like,
until they win it. Please.
what are you going to say? My team's a 1 seed in the playoffs, but I really have no faith in them.
I mean-
they're gonna suck.
I did, and I unfortunately have to leave, but I'll leave this on one thing. Every other team in the NHL is saying, every other fan base is saying, man, I don't want to play the Rangers. And the Rangers fan base is saying, man, I don't want the Rangers to play. Because that's just how it feels.
It does. It does.
I'm like, it's so weird hearing from like an outside perspective, like, oh, this team's really good. Like, I think the Rangers have a chance. And I'm just like,
Who do you think you're talking?
I'm just like, they're getting swept by the Capitals in the first round. Ovechkin's putting up 60 goals in this series. Because that's my cynical Mets fan coming
Just
out.
how
of me.
yeah.
That's how it is.
That's how I view all sports now.
You know,
through just a
The City
heartbreak mentality.
the City Connect jerseys are going to be the ultimate downfall of this team. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, perfect game tonight. You know, like a lot of me, like I have like 50% rational fan where I'm like, yeah, the Rangers should beat the Capitals. The Capitals are not that good of a team. The Rangers won the President's Trophy, and the other half of me is like, Caps in 4. Like,
We're cooked.
Like Caps in 4, no matter what. Philip Heedle's going to step out onto the ice and fall and like break his neck in the first period. Matt Rempe's going to step out there and like slip and fall. Panarin's going to like crash into the boards in warm-ups. Something will happen where the Rangers team plane, like the Rockies.
team plane.
Peter Laviolette will sneak onto the cockpit and then get fired. But I'm confident in this Rangers team.
Did you submit your bracket?
I did. Rangers, please, and I beg of you, please don't let me down.
Let's
Please.
check the bracket
I need
challenge.
this.
Can I see? Am I allowed to see the bracket? I can't see you guys' brackets. Alex submitted his.
How do we like submit it into yours?
Oh, you gotta just add it. You have to just add it,
Okay, let's see.
and then see, Tanner might have made his bracket, but I don't know if he put it
leagues.
into this little bracket challenge you got here.
Can I
so-
search the? Is it breaking the ice?
I sent it to the group chat. It has everything there.
You guys are gonna love to hear it when I get announced all over the news. It's gonna be everywhere in our country that a young man from Little Falls, New Jersey, got a perfect
Got
bracket.
perfect NHL.
There's
bracket.
definitely like hundreds of perfect brackets for hockey. It's
Oh, yeah,
definitely
for-
not
for
so
like,
pro sports?
they only let us put the actual series scores for the first round.
for the first round.
That's lame. Because then you can't get like really perfect.
You can
'Cause
get
I'm sure there are
perfect-
perfect every year of people just guessing
Yeah.
the winners, but actually going game by game and getting the series right,
Oh, dude, that's
that would make it tougher for sure.
Islanders in
I mean, not
7.
maybe not game by game, but actually getting the series right.
This man said Islanders in 7.
That's
guys.
brutal, man. I can't justify it.
all right, I am in.
Just submit your brackets in. Alex has submitted his in there. Max possible of 404 for all of us to win. It's exciting. It's bracket time. It's playoff time, man. It's playoff time. On top of this, though, one thing I didn't ask you guys, which team do you least want to see the team win the cup final? Which team do you least want to see win another championship?
On the West, it's going to be the Golden Knights.
Me too, yeah.
With a close second on the Oilers.
You don't want to see them win?
No, not in the slightest. I don't.
What?
It's definitely Vegas.
Yeah, for
Can
sure.
you imagine if the Islanders won the cup? What are the odds on that?
And then as the East goes, let's be real here. The Islanders and Capitals aren't winning the cup anyway. But I would hate to see the Carolina Hurricanes hoist that trophy in the air.
I don't want to see Tampa hoist it, and I don't want to see Toronto hoist it. And I don't want to see Boston hoist it.
There's really no good winners.
I don't want
in
to
the
see any
East.
Atlantic team aside from the Cats or a Metro team hoist that cup. If Boston hoists it, bro. Toronto hoists it, we're never here. Oh, dude. Okay, that's it. Imagine editor and Leaf. If the Leafs win the Stanley Cup final.
Won.
I know Tanner heard that in the hallway. Imagine editor and Leaf if the Stanley Cup final champion is the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that'd be unbearable. We'd never. Oh no, that can't happen.
The world would never recover.
That can't happen. That can't happen.
That,
And if the Lightning win again,
No, maybe I just don't like Canadian teams.
dude, I might rather Tampa win than Toronto.
Well, it's been a long time, right?
I don't know about that.
I might rather Tampa win than Toronto.
I would rather
Legitimately.
Toronto win.
Editor and Leaf
I don't like
would be
Tampa,
insufferable. Oh, yeah, that can't happen. That can't happen. No, that can't happen. That can't happen, man. That can't happen. We had a great regular season, y'all. Great regular season. The show is coming to an end. There's only so many episodes left.
A final
Sad.
closing.
It's almost over.
Is someone gonna take it over? Take over Breaking the Ice?
Yeah, Daniel has to pass the ADJ test, bro.
Yeah.
The legacy will
He's got to
continue.
pass the ADJ test, and then he's got it. How
How many episodes have there been in total now?
Okay, so
3
on the
years.
YouTube channel, this is episode 56 right here, plus the live draft special, so 57.
A live draft special was something.
The live draft special was my
That was
favorite
something.
episode,
That was so crazy.
one of the episodes of all time. So we got how many shows left? I believe there's
Two?
two, one or two, might be one.
We should be able by that time to see the Rangers just about into the Eastern Conference Finals. I believe in 2 weeks' time. Right? Something like that.
Good. I want everyone here for the last episode. Just the last one.
I'll be here for the next two probably.
The last one. Everyone needs to come in and
We
rotate.
need to have like 12 seats in here.
Dude, we're gonna have rotating people. Just come on in, come on out. We gotta get John Giftopoulos in there. We're gonna have Nem on the show.
Emily.
Emily never made it to the show.
Well,
though.
she needs to.
Jackson will come out.
No, you see, that's not how this works. We're gonna come on the
Jero.
last episode. Jackson has been on the show. Jackson
Has been on
can
the
pop
show.
out. We're gonna
Ben's
get him-
actually been on the
Ben
show.
has.
Has
Ben's
Ben been on the show more than them?
No. We're gonna call up Campbell Donovan, see if he can get off in 2 weeks.
Oh, Campbell's got to be here. That's a
Tommy
must.
Bavaro.
Oh, I don't know about Deeks and Dangles crossover. I don't know about all that now. But we're gonna get it all back. We're gonna get it all. AJ Chasen, of course, sitting right back
Lovely.
down.
America loses every time AJ Chasen wins.
Oh well, the Penguins didn't make the playoffs. So did America win?
W.
Did America win?
That was the biggest
That's a
Flyers
great
W of
quote.
the year. Eliminating the Penguins for good.
Yeah. Poor AJ, not really.
Well, we didn't have breaking the street this year. Unfortunately, we couldn't
That's
go.
brutal, man. I drove past those courts the other day.
Were
You know they ain't
fun?
that bad. They're the same. They're the same courts we
Yeah,
played
they-
on
they were
last
bad
year.
last year.
They're the same exact thing, and we didn't have a problem.
We didn't have a problem. You know,
I don't think the refs want to walk that far. I think that's what it comes down to.
they walked to Dio, but they won't. They'll walk to Dio, but they won't. You know, walk.
Yeah,
Down.
I have my fair share of beef with the officiating.
Shout out intramural refs, man. They really, you know, we got a great relationship. We got a great relationship.
I do think over the last year's time we have repaired our relationship.
It has gotten better. It has gotten
our
better.
Sportsmanship rating has
A
definitely been
little
better.
with like the main people, I would say so, but there are still certain officials who
No, they know who we are.
They know who they are,
refuse
too.
to
They
do
know
their
who they
jobs.
are.
Yeah, they know who they are.
We're playing 2 outs and 4 outs. Playing 2 outs and 4 outs, bro.
Yeah, just imagine playing a softball game where if you want to finish in 6 innings, you need about 47 outs.
You need about 4 to 7. Dude,
Nothing beats when I was arguing the one call and I guess you could call him umpire.
the umpire.
Said to me, "Yeah, you were right." I was like, "So if you knew I was right, why didn't you overturn the call?" And then he goes, "I don't got time to argue." I'm like,
There's no argument.
I literally just want you to do your job. I'm not asking for that much.
You guys just agreed.
You just agreed that I was right.
Man. Shout out them, bro.
I feel like we got to use these last 10 minutes to talk about the upcoming World Championships.
He's got it.
Hit it.
Because hold on, I'm trying to make an AI image that says America wins when AJ Chasen loses. But it's not coming out too well. This says America wins winno a 11 shows when Sias Chins do Ipohans Abir Hus Res Us Chesen. AI, gotta love it.
Yo.
It's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Or this one, America win AJ Jason.
Oh man, I told Connor about our possible plan / gift to Mary Scott.
Oh yes,
That's
yes,
happening,
yes,
bro.
yes.
Come on, I'm
I
signing
told
that.
him he should get in on it because he is a part.
Chase, we're
Yeah.
champs. We're champs.
100%. No, but seriously, I was gonna say America. The NHL has not gotten best on best hockey since the 2014 Olympics, and now starting May 12th, there are going to be way more NHL players than normal. Which, by the way, as I'm saying that, Kyle Dubas has been named Associate GM of Team Canada for that tournament.
Chopping.
But yeah, because of the upcoming Four Nations tournament, because of the Olympics in 2026, they're sending largely NHLers, and the rosters are going to be very, very good. Sidney Crosby's supposed to go. Connor Bedard's supposed to go. The U.S. roster, I mean, players still have like 2 weeks to commit, and it's already loaded with NHL talent. Last year, Adam Gaudette, who was an AHLer, was playing on the first line for Team USA. This year, I will tell you everyone who committed. Yuri Slafkovsky just did, but for Team USA, Brady Tkachuk, Trevor Zegras, Cole Caulfield, Tage Thompson, Johnny Gaudreau, Matt Boldy, Shane Pinto, Luke Cunnin, Luke Hughes, Zach Werenski, Mark-Edward Vlasic, Seth Jones, and Brock Faber. And that's just the very beginning of their roster. And like I said, Crosby and Bedard going for Team Canada. These rosters should be absolutely loaded. And then as teams get eliminated from the playoffs, most likely the Capitals and Islanders, there's going to be a lot of players who come over. The tournament's being held in Czechia, and we're going to see some really, really good international hockey, which we haven't really had the benefit of seeing in a decade. And it would be nice if guys from like the Rangers and Oilers, like guys like McDavid, would be able to play in it. I mean, maybe they'll get bounced, and they will. But regardless, it's still going to be best on best NHL talent. And these games are going to be intense. At the Devils team exit interviews, I got to talk to some of the players about it. Luke Hughes told me, I want to win. Like, the U.S. hasn't won this tournament in like 70 years. And he was like, normally they don't really send that many NHLers. Like, we want to change that. Like, we want to bring gold home to our country. So it's going to be pretty exciting to watch. Just so much young talent on the American squad specifically. So many guys who are near point per game or even better. And having a guy like Brady Tkachuk in there is going to be exciting because taking his physical play style over international waters is going to be pretty cool. There's no fighting allowed in the IIHF, so I don't know how he's going to be able to handle that. But there's going to be some serious, serious talent. Capo Kakko was part of Team Finland last year.
Barkov, Anton Lundell, Eetu Loisterinen.
That's like if the Panthers were to get bounced, Team Finland would be ecstatic.
You know, I've never really dabbled much into international hockey, but over the last year or so, I'd say I've been watching a lot more, like that USA-Canada game. and every once in a while when there's just a game on I'll throw it on in the background. But my God, those are electric games, man. And they're really, really hard-fought games. Really, honestly, I mean, I'd watch one of those over a regular season NHL game any day of the week. But, yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff happens.
Yeah, like I was saying, like in the past, there's less of a reason to watch it. I mean, I still watch it myself, but I understand why the average viewer wouldn't, because it was mainly
Watching World Juniors and Harry Haynes class.
it was
sitting
mainly AHL players, and like the most like quote unquote star players didn't really go, but that's completely different this year. This is the first time really ever that, because the NHL hasn't had best on best in so long, that these players need to get used to international play, so when the Olympics and Four Nations come, it's not like a complete surprise, so they have some chemistry and stuff like that. So the rosters are going to be absolutely loaded. I mean, the US has 3 forward lines already that are basically a top line on any team in the NHL. And like I said, that's just a start. More players are going to commit. So it's going to be really exciting to watch. I wish it was more publicized. I think the games are only on NHL Network, and the ones that aren't on NHL Network are on ESPN+. So it's not exactly easy to watch, which is unfortunate. I feel like we should do pick'ems for that. That would be cool.
I'd be down for that for sure.
I could literally send the screenshot of which teams, because it'd only be like 4 games a day, I think. And someone could probably get pretty close to perfect for the entire tournament, because, like, for example, when Team Canada plays Poland, like, that's a slam dunk. So, and
what if it's not, though?
I mean, you never know.
So,
I guess crazy things happen.
So
but,
who are the teams to watch out for besides Canada?
Definitely the U.S. team. They're absolute right now in terms of the players who have committed. The U.S. is more stacked than Canada, but Canada, that could quickly change, because there's still a while to fully submit the rosters since it starts on May 12th. Sweden is always one. Finland is always one. Switzerland has gotten as far as the gold medal game, but they've never won a gold. Nico Hischier will probably be there as captain. Timo Meier might join. If the Preds get eliminated, Roman Josi will join. So they're more of a dark horse candidate.
All these rosters won't be really set until we see who gets eliminated from the NHL playoffs first.
I mean, so yes and no. Like, there will be rosters set, but then players could still join as their team gets eliminated.
Right.
Like, usually teams will leave, like, say 2 or 3 roster slots open. Like, say Finland, for example, they'll leave 3 roster slots open. Say the Panthers get eliminated and those players are able to join, they'll just hop right on a flight to Czechia from the U.S. and join the roster. So even though they're eliminated, that doesn't stop. I'm just trying to look at some of the games, because some of these will just be complete blowouts. Like Brady Tkachuk, Cole Caulfield, Trevor Zegras, Tage Thompson against, who does the U.S. play? Do they play? They play France. That Kazakhstan. like those games are just gonna be.
Is Bedard playing in Canada?
Bedard is going to play for Team Canada.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and Sidney Crosby as well.
Great.
So
that's gonna be cool.
And just having guys of those caliber playing, that means other players are gonna join as well. Obviously, because they want to play with guys like that. Like, it's not just about the World Championships. They get a chance to play on the same team as some of the best. I'm just looking at some of these games. Canada versus Great Britain on May 11th. That is going to be something. Connor Bedard.
he's gonna score 8 goals.
I'm actually really excited for that. The spread's got to be like 9.5 for that game.
What does Russia's team look like?
Russia is banned.
Yeah, because
right.
They're still banned from the
so Panarin's got nowhere to go if the Rangers get eliminated.
Yeah. Who does Poland play?
Also, shout out Denver for winning the Frozen Four.
Sweden versus Poland is gonna be a complete blowout. U.S. versus France is gonna be a good one. Canada versus Norway. Oh, the U.S. does play Poland on May 17th. So that should be. This is Poland. I believe this is Poland's first year ever in the tournament. They just got promoted from the second division last year because there's like the relegation system like soccer. So I don't think there's a single Polish player in the NHL. I could be wrong, but going up against NHL All-Stars, I just have to say good luck to Poland. Emily Snerkowski, if you're listening to this, I'm
If you're
so
listening,
sorry.
Buster Olney, good luck out there. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been the playoff preview of Breaking the Ice here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Anniversary week. That's our show right there here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Have a great one, everyone. Playoffs start tomorrow. Islanders, will they get their first win over Carolina? We'll find out. Coming up next, we got Buzz Games, everyone, so stay tuned if you would like to check that out. Peace.